Hey, this is Matti. I went to my local guitar store to see how my Les Paul is doing in the consignment and talk about whether we should change the price or something. It hasn't sold yet, but we thought that hey, it's only been a couple of weeks, so might as well just let it sit there for a while. And I was talking with the person who runs the store, and he mentioned that actually he now needs a metal zone. And it's kind of a funny thing, since it seems that these metal zone pedals, they are really ubiquitous. How do you say it? Well, anyway, you see a lot of those around, but when you need it, can you really find one? And I happen to have a couple of these. I'll explain why. I have a standard metal zone that I bought from way, like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something, when I was putting together my first bass rig for my black metal band, and I just needed some sort of distortion, so I worked up a deal with a friend of mine who sold me a Tokai jazz bass, a Roland bass cube, like one of those old big ones, and this metal zone, and that was the basis of the original tone. And then the second one, that's not a standard one, that's a Keeley modded one. So you can see here's a additional switch, and there's a little bit of difference when you put it on. The LED is blue instead of red like here. So I thought that okay, he needs a metal zone, so I might as well help him a little bit and bring my normal metal zone for him tomorrow. And that made me think that hey, why don't we compare, is there any sort of difference between these two pedals? And I just noticed that both of these have been set up really loud. So let's just make that go away and put this like in a neutral position to begin with, to start making some comparisons. Excuse me. So they're kind of 12 o'clock now, and I'm running them into a cleanish deluxe reverb. Here's the original one. I think that's I kind of was expecting it to sound worse somehow. Well, it's kind of the trend now that people are saying, well, actually this is much better than you remember. And I tend to kind of agree, but I do think that it used to take a lot more tweaking. But what about the Keeley modded one? So this has more options. I will start at the neutral position, and I will start with the little switch on the leftmost side. It has these 3 different modes, so let's hear it in the leftmost mode. like it's got more gain. I have the distortion control at the same place like at noon. Well, who wins the gain wars? Let's listen how much gain we can get out of the standard metal zone. So back to the standard. That's a lot of gain, but let's see what the Keeley modded one does. I haven't played around with this a lot since I'm now doing more rootsy stuff normally, but let's hear how the different modes affect it. I put it on the middlemost position. Wow, it got a lot louder. I need to adjust the level so I'm not clipping it completely. What about the rightmost side? It's got so much gain on tap, for that kind of riffage, it's kinda hard to distinct the notes anymore, so I put the gain a little bit lower. I bet a lot of people who have joined the channel like in the recent months or so will be sorely disappointed by all of this like super high gainy stuff, but it is what it is. I listen to a lot of different styles of music, and extreme metal is one of those, and I'm now more active in the rootsier type of thing, but I do have like always the metal thing in there. But hey, I've heard some things, like I've heard them say that this is quieter, so let's see if that's true. Let's put both of these pedals on full distortion mode and the level at the same place, and let's hear how much noise the original one makes. Okay, pretty loud. You're gonna need a noise gate with that guy. How about the Keeley modded one? You know, it is a little bit quieter. Let's see with the leftmost mode. It's a really small difference, but I think there is a difference. Well, why don't we play something like this. And back to the classic one. Well, what do you think about these pedals? Of course, it's a little bit difficult to say because you haven't had the chance to feel with them, and I would say that because these EQ settings are really powerful, it's kind of hard to match the EQ. To be honest, I would probably not notice which pedal is being used unless I saw that LED. I feel like the Keeley modded one could be just the teeniest bit tighter on the bottom end, but when I listen back to the recordings, I don't know if it will sound like that. Hopefully it captured, because the noise in the room, it's heavy metal, man. So hope it captures nice. Yeah. What else is there? I will bring the normal one to my friend, the guitar store guy. Thanks everyone who has subscribed to the channel, liked the videos, left comments, and even watched the videos. It really feels nice to get some like a verification that hey, maybe something that I did kind of was even mildly interesting. So thanks for that, and see you next time. Bye bye.